your nota, your highlighter. So whatever I mentioned just now, please bear in mind. Okay, which is try to focus on the midterm exam first. I think your midterm exam 100% going to cover for all the Form 4 syllabus, right? So which means before I try to send all the answer, ta-da! Okay, so you guys need to request the seminar notes for the answer already, right? Okay, so this is our economy head in TDC known as Shi. So Shi is preparing all the answer for you all. So that's why this is very good quality of exercises. If you really find the exercises in seminars able to help you all to score for midterm, then feel free to join whoever economy teacher as you all able to attend for the booster class because we really wanted to boost your SPM result for economy at least A minus, A or A plus. Yeah, because I have a lot of students when they are getting their SPM result, they told me that they just need one more A to get a scholarship or maybe to study in local U. So this is how important for money because they have to discuss with their parents in order to squeeze out the money fee for their diploma or maybe the degree courses. So money is everything, right? This is why we have to learn economy. So at least you are trying to take tuition here, try to score as many as possible. You have to help the parents to save money, even though you are rich. Okay, so now this is the money in economy known as the Form 4 Part 1. So please highlight Form 4 Part 1 is faktor-faktor pengeluaran. Okay, so we have the tanah, modal, buruh, and usahawan. So sumber-sumber economy also the same thing. So that's why no matter you're writing faktor pengeluaran or sumber economy in your exam, it's all considered as input. Remember your Form 4 Part 4? So when we have input, which is the 4 items here, tanah, modal, buruh, usahawan, is able to produce as output. So that's why it's the output. Anything here? Siran. And then here, output is barang dan perkhidmatan, right? So why we have to learn all the TMBU and then the barang dan perkhidmatan because in the whole Form 4 syllabus, the tanah, modal, buruh, and usahawan is going to apply within a lot of subtopics. Let's say we have the tanah, modal, and buruh in the Form 4 Part 4. In the Form 4 Part 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, we also are going to use the tanah, modal, buruh, including, let's say, remember your 1.4A for KKP. So KKP, we have the Baxi X and Baxi Y. So this line is actually referring to your tanah, modal, and buruh. So that's why we have to learn these 4 input. And the most important input is always your usahawan. Why? Without usahawan, tanah, modal, and buruh is just a sumber alam semula jadi without any purposes. So when usahawan is trying to memaksimumkan keuntungan, then they have to mengeluarkan barang and perkhidmatan, then tanah digunakan from all the bahan-bahan mentah. So this is raw material. So what is modal? It's just a piece of metal. So when there's usahawan, they are trying to process the metal into machine, alat cipta manusia. And then when there is buruh, work for the usahawan, that buruh can try to mendapatkan or memperuntukkan their gaji or maybe their upah. So usahawan is the one to command this street in order to produce the barang dan perkhidmatan. So we have to learn 2 items here because in the Form 5 Bab 2, barang is known as barang nampak that you can see, that you can produce, you can touch. Then this is, if you guys recall your objective macroeconomy in your Form 5 Bab 1, right? Objective macroeconomy mencapai kegunaan tenaga penuh, menstabilkan tingkat harga umum, meningkatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi, and then the last one will be menstabilkan imbangan pembayaran, right? So we need imbangan pembayaran, we have to record the account for barang nampak, which is the barang kan. So the perkhidmatan is the account for barang tak nampak. This is a Form 5 Part 2. So that's why always remember 4 input in order to produce into 2 output. Okay, so done trying to connect all the Form 4 and Form 5 syllabus for you all as a basic concept. So which means now, what do you mean now? That explaining the concept. Link from the Form 4 to Form 5. Haven't copied. Just copy this item first. Form 5, we try to link back to the Form 4 syllabus. But now, this question just for Form 4 Part 1, right? Just try to mention Sumber economy also referring to your faktor pengeluaran is known as input. So we have 4 input trying to process into the 2 output, which is the 2 output, barang dan perkhidmatan. Okay, so that's why looking at the questions 4 marks, guys. Just slightly go through for all the revision, right? For the concept. So this is your seminar class. We are trying to handle the answering technique for the keyword. Guys, what is bezel gun? Yeah, highlight bezel gun. Differences, right? How do we tackle the differences here? Anything here? Yeah. So you guys prefer to write the answer for gambar 1, gambar 2. You guys can definitely identify, right? Gambar 1 is buruh. Okay, so gambar 2 is modal because alat cipta manusia, right? The answer already shown. So you guys prefer to write the answer in table form or you guys prefer to write in sentences? Yeah, sentences, which means whenever you guys are trying to write in sentences, right? Basically, we have to write the keyword for mana, color. Remember, right? Any, yeah, which means gambar 1 ialah buruh, 1 mark, iaitu sumbangan tenaga manusia yang produktif dari segi fizikal dan mental dalam proses pengeluaran. Full stop. Okay, manakala gambar 2 ialah modal, iaitu alat cipta manusia digunakan dalam proses pengeluaran. So this is your another 2 more marks. So which is your full 4 marks? This is your answering technique. So if you prefer to just mention the buruh and modal because the definition here is too long and wasting your time, then you can just write out gambar 1 ialah buruh, dan pulangannya atau ganjaran buruh ialah upah. Ganjaran modal ialah faedah. Shorter, still the same 4 marks. That's why this is what we call answering technique. Do not waste time. Oh, teacher said must be trying to write the fakta first, huraian, and then the contoh-contoh like of the huraian. No, you guys can try to shorten it. Okay, so this is your Form 4 syllabus. I try to mention one more time. This is your Form 4 syllabus. For the buruh modal, definition, this is your 4 marks already. So you try to mention the ganjaran and faedah, this will be 6 marks. Okay, so why do I have to keep mentioning Form 4? Because Form 5, all the fakta have to support by your definition. So which means this is your current 1 mark only. So in order to get the 4 marks as Form 5, we have to mention the upah or their mobility. Okay, can I answer the side Form 4? 1 part, 2 part, this is there already 2 marks here. So this is another 2 more marks. This is the 4 marks. You guys are Form 5, right? So buruh with the definition here is 1 mark. So ganjaran is another mark. So if you're not able to memorize the ganjaran, then go for the mobility. Okay, so for those who wanted to prepare the answer in table, then this is my table. So you guys can try to prepare a table in such way. Okay, or another method. So this is your gambar 1, gambar 2. So the first one is buruh, this is modal. So try to give the definition, blah, 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 blah. So this is your 2 marks. So another marks, which is the ganjaran. Ganjaran is upah. So ganjaran is faedah. Settle. Okay, Jonathan. So ask your school preferences because different tutor, different teacher, different recommendation because they are the one to mark for your exam paper. So I'm here to teach you guys for all the answering techniques.
Teacher.
Yes.
If we write the this maksud for the sumber economy also is counted as 2 marks, is it?
That's why I prefer you guys to type out the questions because when you guys use the mic, right, this laptop is weak in the speaker. You try to ask again.
You can hear me or not?
I can hear, but it's quite blurred. It's going to be, you try to repeat. When?
Okay. For the maksud for this sumber economy, if we write the maksud, I mean the difference between the gambar 1 and gambar 2, will we get 2 marks or not?
That's why this is Form 5 syllabus, right? The definition is to support what is buruh. So definition, alat cipta manusia is to support modal. So this is a Form 5 syllabus now for only 1 mark. For only 1 mark. So which means gambar 1, buruh and the definition is cost 1 mark only. So manakala gambar 2 ialah modal dengan definisi alat cipta manusia is another 1 mark. So you are not going to get the complete 4 marks here. That's why Form 4, very minimum points you guys have to write for your exam according to the marking scheme. So Form 5, always the factor have to support by your definition first. So this is
Oh,
considered as a
have to, teacher.
huh?
Have to have the
It's
definition.
have to support with definition. This is why economic is tougher to score.
In what case do we have to have the Hurayan for this thing?
Every factor that you guys can learn from textbook, school, syllabus, we have the definition, then you have to provide the definition. But let's say what is one? What is KKP? This is all definition, right? So that's why, yeah. Because the question already asking for basic gamma, then you have to provide the definition.
Oh, okay.
Done, so that's why it's mobility, ability to move around, right? So these two can move around or not? This is bureau, this is model. Yeah, can, but we have to mention the perbezaan, right? So if you try to mention, gambar satu mempunyai mobility geography, gambar dua juga mempunyai mobility geography. That any difference? No difference, right? So this is the clever answer, which is people, when you try to give instructions as a boss usahawan, they can move around on their free will. Just try to follow your instructions. But the gambar two, you try to instruct them, they still have to pilot or driven by the people. So that's why mobility geography yang terhad for the modal yang dapat bergerak. So that's why buruh and usahawan membeli geografi yang tinggi. So this is the differences. So if you really cannot identify the definition, because I used to be students also, right? So usually you can ask me, try to memorize all the definitions in such long sentences, waste of energy. That's why my technique is try to write out as low as possible. Sorry, the sentences as short as possible. But the thing is, you guys are Form 5 now, right? So that's why definition, please memorize it. Yeah, must support by definition for all the items as long as we have definition. So if you ask me, teacher, if they ask what's the definition for kerajaan, not going to come up in your textbook, not going to ask such questions. Okay? Yeah. So what's the keyword for buruh? Need to hafal which one? Everything. Everything. So just try to memorize all the keywords, meaning your sentence. So guys, what is the keyword for buruh? Sumbangan tenaga manusia productive. Yeah, so which means the tenaga manusia is supposed to be productive and then contributing in a physical or mental way dalam proses pengeluaran. So what is the keyword for modal? Alat ciptaan manusia. So human produce these two dalam proses pengeluaran. That yes, physical or mental also have to include within the tenaga productive. Done, right? So guys, we have explained the buruh and modal. What is a definition for usahawan? Because usahawan quite often to come up in your Form 5 syllabus. Okay, and then this question just try to let you guys to handle the kebab answer. Mobility geography yang tinggi, mobility geography yang rendah. Okay, so I try to prepare an answer before I start teaching. So anyone? What's the definition of usahawan? Same as the gambar satu, which is buruh. They are known as humans. So that's why we are trying to start as individu. So individu yang menggabungkan the faktor pengeluaran dalam mengeluarkan barang dan perkhidmatan. Okay, so they are trying to menggabungkan tanah modal buruh. Okay, yes, menggabungkan or menyelaraskan. Just choose one to write, Jonathan, because if you mention two, menggabungkan and menyelaraskan, you have to write 3 words, right? Waste of time. Even though it's only teacher 5 seconds only, 5 seconds can allows you guys to put a lot of objective or maybe the essay questions to think of more points. Can I? Done, right? So guys, Tana, the easiest one, supposedly it's not going to come out in your Form 5 syllabus already. Sumber sumber anugerah alam semula jadi yang digunakan dalam proses pengeluaran. Ya, to write Tuhan must be semula jadi you write Tuhan then gone. Okay, so done for all the basic no question, then we proceed to the next one. This is your 1.2. So right now, this is your 1.1. Use your compact. This is the 1.2 for the KPKL. What's KPKL? Kekurangan, pilihan, and cost lepas. Known as your KPKL. So kekurangan is able to apply for all the unit economy. So in order to learn the KPKL, please recall back From Form 4 Part 1.2, we are trying to learn the isi rumah, the firma, and then the kerajaan, right? So after we try to learn these three unit economy, what is the purpose? Because all these three unit economy is going to face masalah kekurangan. Why? One per one, there's one main factor. So what's the main factor for one per one? All the faktor pengeluaran known as sumber ekonomi adalah terhad. So what is something yang tidak terhad? Anyone? Something yang tidak terhad. So tidak terhad is kehendak manusia. So due to these two concepts, kehendak manusia yang tidak terhad dengan sumber ekonomi yang terhad. So that's why we are going to face masalah kekurangan, no matter we are considered as an isi rumah, firma or kerajaan. So that's why look at the questions here. This is already mentions kerajaan. So kerajaan has only, so memperuntukkan, so kerajaan gather 150 million from the central government. So maybe this is the state government. No? So kerajaan negeri still belongs to the government, right? So just kerajaan mengalami masalah kekurangan 150 million in order to produce the hospital and the sekolah, right? Total for 185 million. So how does we able to fix this? Jonathan?
Teacher, I want to ask, is it hasil kerajaan or hasil negara?
Hasil negara, hasil kerajaan, kerajaan is negara, same thing.
So if I write hasil negara won't be wrong
No, same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. Okay, so when the kerajaan mengalami masalah kekurangan, so the keyword is always hasil negara yang terhad. So that's why I didn't write terhad is because we wanted to link to the questions to answer. So how do we answer? Kekurangan hasil kerajaan is your first mark, okay, which is the masalah ekonomi. So masalah ekonomi, your first mark is always kekurangan. So kekurangan 550 million on the two project for worth 100 million and 85 million. So which means the whole sentences here is just trying to mention one keyword. Kerajaan mengalami kekurangan hasil negara or hasil kerajaan yang terhad. So that's why the terhad we have to relate it to the question as your Form 5 syllabus. Now we are no longer Form 4. So that's why in Form 4 is suitable to write as short as possible. Oh, kerajaan mengalami masalah kekurangan hasil negara yang terhad. Daripada I have 150 million terhadap kedua project. You don't even have to mention on these two projects. So now this is your Form 5 syllabus, right? So we relate to the questions. Kerajaan has only 150 million. So maybe you can try to add on the keyword here. Dengan peruntukan IM 150 juta yang terhad. Ya, so yang terhadap kedua project for 100 million, 85 million. So this is your only one long sentences. Here is only your one mark. Okay, so your upcoming marks will be, so guys, listen carefully. Later you have to notice this answer. Jika, right? So from the whole questions, do we know what is the option for kerajaan under the pilihan? They didn't mention, right? So which means you have to use the keyword jika. So jika kerajaan choose the hospital, then the cost of us will be sekolah. So this is your second mark only. So that's why you highlight jika the pilihan and the cost of us is only your second mark. Then how to score your another 2 more marks for the third and fourth mark? You have to mention twice pilihan. Pilihan is memaksimalkan kebajikan masyarakat for kerajaan. And then cost of us is kedua terbaik for dilepaskan under the project pembinaan or project pembangunan. Same thing. So that's why focus on the keyword because this the keyword memaksimalkan kebajikan masyarakat or the project pembinaan. If we switch the unit economy from kerajaan, let's say into firma. So firma for the pilihan, right, is no longer memaksimalkan kebajikan, is keuntungan. Okay, and then the kedua terbaik under the cost of us is no longer known as project pembinaan, it's known as keluaran or maybe project pelaburan. So there's a different unit economy, different keyword they are trying to bracket here. Understand? So one more thing, if we are trying to refer this is isi rumah, so isi rumah mengalami kekurangan sumber pendapatan, so pendapatan perseorangan, just pendapatan dulu. So pendapatan yang terhad on barang A and B. So jika pilihan is A, memaksimumkan kepuasan. And cost lepas, kedua terbaik yang dilepaskan will be barang dan perkhidmatan. So this is all the keyword you guys have to proven. You guys have to really memorize these form 4. Okay. So anything else, Jonathan? No, so done for your masalah economy, known as masalah kekurangan. Same thing. So please be aware of the keyword during the questions on bagaimana. So we have to explain the whole situation. Government has only 150 million, known as sumber hasil, or just hasil negara or hasil kerajaan yang terhad within the 2 project here. So that's why the project yang second best is cost surplus. So the project that chosen is not as pilihan for maximizing the welfare for people, kebajikan masyarakat. Simple, right? So that for the 4.2, shall we proceed to the 1.3 now? So until now, for the first half hour, you guys still consider it super easy, right? For the part 1. So that's why during the seminar, and then after your midterm exam, try to identify which chapter from the Form 4 or Form 5 later on, you guys needed the revision. Let me know. Before the July booster class, we try to have our own extra class, try to revise as many as possible to save your money. Guys, I am serious, dead serious. Yeah, if you guys really can handle, then you guys wanted to score for better result, then try to discuss with your parents wanted to spend the money on economy or not. Because I rather you guys try to spend the money on other subject like MX or maybe sejarah or maybe BM, because BM is really hard to get A, right? I have a lot of students always failing to get A for their BM. And then this is the A they needed to get their full scholarship for at least 9 straight A. Yeah, A and A plus. Guys, remember, straight A is not going to consider your A minus. So A or A plus only for GPA scholarship. So if you're trying to apply for other scholarship from university or college private one, A minus is considered okay, but GPA is not considered A minus as A. Okay, BM easy to get A. You try a lot of model paper first, because I have a lot of students, maybe Chinese students, man, they are not fluent in their BM, then they are not able to get A or A plus, or just getting A minus. So that's why they are trying to request for remarking their paper. So I think there's a very tiny chance for them to get a higher grade. You guys know the SPM paper can try to remark, right? You have to pay for 100. Okay, so the one we talked about that after the trials. Okay, so done. So guys, KKP, kalau kemungkinan pengeluaran. So guys, what is the tarif cut? Anyone? Ini Jingxian, what is tarif cut? Taklifkan, which means terangkan, jelaskan, uraikan pada definisi maksud. So maksud for KKP is had tingkat maksimum pengeluaran, or whether is economy, pasaran, or firma. So that's why don't waste time to copy the 3 words here. Just try to choose one to uraikan. Had tingkat maksimum pengeluaran sesuatu ekonomi, sesuatu pasaran, sesuatu firma. Choose one. Dan dicapai tengah. So that's why we learn things for the form 4 part 1 per 1. Faktor-faktor pengeluaran. So if you're lazy to write down faktor-faktor pengeluaran, let's say me, right? I really lazy to write out such a long words. Faktor-faktor pengeluaran. I prefer to use sumber economy. Because I think sumber economy is rather easily to write down the spelling, right? So this is menggunakan sumber economy and tingkat teknologi yang tertentu. So that's why the faktor-faktor pengeluaran here is including your tanah and your buruh. So the model is within the tingkat teknologi. Okay. Okay, so this is the first mark, easy mark. Had maximum tingkat pengeluaran for one economy yang menggunakan all of their inputs and then with their fixed tingkat teknologi. Because if they have better technology, they are able to improve more pengeluaran, not from here, but expand to outside the other curve. This is when they have tingkat teknologi yang lebih canggih. So that's why we have to assume this is going to become fixed. So when we are assuming, right, this is your andaian, no? So andaian assumptions, how many assumptions for the 4 marks here? We have 4 assumptions. So that's why the 4 assumptions, if you guys can refer from a Form 4 syllabus, do we have any definition for all the 4 assumptions? No definition, because it's just 4 items, 4 assumptions, right? So that's why each of the assumptions, you guys can only get 1 mark. So KKP, for andaian,
Teacher.
Yes,
Last time Form 4 that time, right, you said that sumber economy and faktor pengeluaran is different
it's
in Form
different.
5.
Why? Why? Sumber ekonomi is menghasilkan barang, right? So when we try to menghasilkan the barang and perkhidmatan, then we're supposed to consider as faktor pengeluaran. So that's why you can see most of the answer, I can try to write in faktor pengeluaran for you guys to remember. This is the sumber ekonomi to utilize as mengeluarkan barang and perkhidmatan, then consider as faktor pengeluaran. But if just trying to mention mempunyai sumber ekonomi yang terhad, then that's the sentences for your masalah kekurangan. I try to repeat
I
that.
don't understand.
When we are trying to enter the masalah kekurangan, right? We are trying to mention, oh, why do we have masalah kekurangan? Because sumber ekonomi yang terhad. These situations we use sumber ekonomi yang terhad. Are you going to mention faktor pengeluaran yang terhad? Doesn't make sense for the whole sentence, right? Okay, so that's why in these situations we know that the economy is trying to mengeluarkan barang. Then we try to use faktor-faktor pengeluaran yang terhad for all the TMBU. But even though you just try to write down menggunakan sumber-sumber ekonomi yang terhad, do you think the marking scheme is not going to give you 1 mark? Still going to get 1 mark, right? So that's why we try to differentiate what is the terms is better to use for which situation. But even though you try to mix up the faktor pengeluaran or the sumber ekonomi, your marker is still going to give you 4 mark. Okay, do you see I try to write down during the Form 4, Form 5 syllabus before, we have faktor pengeluaran yang terhad. Even though faktor pengeluaran and the sumber ekonomi is the same thing, right? Tanam modal buruh usahawan, right? So I will never do such thing because I want you guys to use better words for the different situation. Okay, so this is small problem, small problem only, Jonathan. So faktor-faktor pengeluaran dan tingkat teknologi yang tertentu. So this is for your definisi. So the faktor-faktor pengeluaran here in order to mengeluarkan the dua jenis barang, right? So this is the first assumption. So bracket lah, hanya mengeluarkan dua jenis barang. So I will never write down memiliki sumber ekonomi yang terhad, right? I will never write down faktor pengeluaran yang terhad, even though it's the same thing. Because the sumber ekonomi haven't tried to produce into barang and perkhidmatan. That's why we are trying to mention sumber ekonomi yang terhad. Okay, so as I mentioned, the sumber ekonomi or the faktor pengeluaran here is known as your tanah and buruh. So tingkat teknologi mah alat cipta manusia, right? This is your modal, right? So that's why tingkat teknologi yang tetap. And then this is your guna tenaga penuh. So guna tenaga penuh, what is that referring to? This is your buruh. So which means when we are trying to write down the definisi, faktor pengeluaran is including your tanah and buruh. So tingkat teknologi is your modal. Where is usahawan? Whenever we have the pengeluaran, we have firma within the pasaran or within the economy. So that's why we don't need to mention the usahawan in the whole KKP. Don't need to mention. But when we are trying to mention the andaian, right? So we are trying to extend out, which is trying to huraikan the tanah now is your sumber economy, including all the paham mental. So the modal is within your tingkat teknologi. Then the buruh is trying to list out as mencapai guna tenaga penuh. So when we are trying to utilizing all the tanah for the paham mentah, so this sumber ekonomi yang terhad, utilizing all the tingkat teknologi yang paling canggih, tingkat teknologi yang tetap. So we are trying to let everyone able to produce within this economy under the KKP, just assumption, right? Even though we are not able to achieve it, so still have to mention guna tenaga penuh, where you guys already understand guna tenaga penuh is there are still someone not able to work. Pengangguran. Pada pengangguran, as long as lesser than 4%, guna tenaga penuh. Okay? Jonathan? So far, okay, right? Sincere? You guys have not been answering anything. Still can catch up. Sincere and me. Sira? Even though you're not my students, still can okay, still can follow. Hivya? So B is okay, right? So before I continue for your C, guys, what is this line referring to? Catat in your nota. This is your hard maximum pengeluaran. How are we going to consider this is the hard maximum tingkat keluaran? Which is you are trying to finish up all your tanah modal buruh, all the input, which is your TMB. So the TMB, the T here, tanah, right? Then this is sumber ekonomi yang terhad. Modal, right? Tingkat teknologi yang tetap. Buruh, right? Guna tenaga penuh. So this is why we are able to achieve tingkat maximum pengeluaran. When we are trying to utilizing everything into their maximum capacity. So this is the maximum capacity in productions, when we are able to use up all the input. Dana, so what is your A and B? A, which means your tanah, modal, buruh, you are not going to fully utilizing it. You still are trying to waste some of the bahan mentah. You still trying to use the Laosia technology, even though you have the Changi one, you've refused to use it. Or maybe you have buruh, but you are trying to let them, trying to become unemployed because you are not just going to recruit them in order to help the economy to produce things. So this is why we have titik A di dalam lingkungan KKP is known as pembaziran sumber, which is the tanah. Dan ketidakcekapan ekonomi, is it ketidakcekapan ekonomi, or maybe you can try to rephrase it, ketidakcekapan teknologi, sorry teknologi, and then pengangguran tinggi. So pengangguran is referring to your buruh. So I always try to mention the keyword in TNB, TNB. So this is the tanah, this is the modal, this is the buruh, pengangguran. So that's why I'm not able to achieve the tingkat maximum pengeluaran because you are not able to utilize everything. Then this is a 2 marks here. 2 marks for the titik A. So another 2 marks for B will be is outside. B is berada di luar lingkungan KKP. No marks yet. Why? Because you have to mention due to the faktor-faktor perorangan tidak mencukupi. Okay, so tingkat teknologi tidak cukup canggih, and then tingkat perorangan tidak dapat dicapai. So the first mark, sorry, for the third mark, right? First mark for the titik B will be this titik B outside for the lingkungan KKP is known as tingkat perorangan yang tidak dapat dicapai. This is your first mark. With your modal here, tingkat teknologi is not enough canggih. And then the faktor-faktor pengeluaran already mentions is your tanah and buruh. Okay, because we have no other descriptions for opposite of guna tenaga penuh. So inside here is pengangguran, right? So this mencapai guna tenaga penuh. We didn't have something to describe. We have more manpower. So that's why we can just try to include the buruh within your together with your tanah. Then we just use faktor-faktor pengeluaran tidak mencukupi. Because we are trying to mengeluarkan barang yang penghematan. Can Dana? So back in your minds,
Sure.
this is for wait. This is just the soalan struktur. In your other soalan struktur or maybe objective, 1.2 and 1.3, sorry, this is your 1.4A. Forgotten, KKP is 1.4A, your 1.3 is your masalah asas ekonomi, ABBU. So always focus on, we are trying to adjust such a sequence for your 1.2 KKP together with your KPKL, because these two always link together to us when we are trying to calculate for the cost of bus, no matter if we have the KKP or not. So which means what is KKP? Hub maximum, right? So imagine we are trying to have a titik here and another titik here. So we are trying to move this titik A to this titik B. Sorry, okay, let's say we use another alphabet, titik C to this titik donkey, which means this is the cost lepas and pilihan. So pilihan is we are trying to increase barang X, right? Then we have to give up barang Y. So remember, this seminar we didn't have time to calculate for all the cost lepas and pilihan. So that's why always remember, try to refer to your school exercises for TDC previous Form 4 nota. 1.2 for the KPKR always link to your 1.4A KKP in order to identify the cost of bus. And then the formula is, so guys, write down the formula for KKP. If we have the keluar, the KKP will be, guys, anyone knows the formula? Perubahan cost lepas divided by perubahan pilihan. Remember the formula? So the formula can be either y1 minus y0 divided by x1 minus x0, or x1 minus x0 divided by y1 minus y0. Why? Because the x and y is referring to your paksi x or your paksi y. So imagine this is y1 to minus y0, right? So which means your barang y is your cost lepas, which means the number is decreasing. Just like I tried to mention, your data C goes to your data D here. So data D is your y1. this DDC will be your Y0 divided by the number from your proxy X. So X, this is your proxy Y, right? So these are the two lines for your proxy X. So which means you are trying to using your X1 minus your X0. So for this calculation, remember, try to self-study first because we didn't have time to revise it within the seminar notes. Yeah. X over Y, which means reverse it. So this is the detail C. This is the detail donkey. So C goes to donkey. So your proxy X is decreasing, where your proxy Y is increasing. So X decreasing, which means your X1 minus X0. This is perubahan cost of bus. Divided by your Y1 minus Y0. This is your perubahan for pilihan. Pilihan will be increasing. So cost of bus will be decreasing. That's why cost of bus on top is the kedua terbaik bila paskan. Okay. We are not going to talk about this question because we didn't have enough time. We wanted to cover as many topics as possible. So just jot down with your nota. We didn't know the formula for KKP. They asked me within the WhatsApp group. When we have time, we try to cover this part. Okay. Yeah, so jot down this. So whenever you have questions, yeah, we are trying to tackle the seminar nota only. So if I try to teach all the calculations here, I don't think we can enter the bab 2, bab 3, or bab 4. Yeah, so we have only 2 hours. Try to settle your whole Form 4 syllabus. You guys are trying to spend at least 10 to 11 months to learn within the 2 hours. This is mission impossible. Okay, that's why we try and cover as many as possible. So jot down which part you guys have question. Ask me after the seminar. Okay, but not within this month. Next week, I still have another seminar for lower form. So let me try to have more rest. Okay, so Dana, for the KKB, jot down which part you guys going to ask me. That's why I tried to inform you all for the small content. Okay, so guys, system economy, this is your 1.4 B. So 1.4 B usually is going to combine with your 1.3, but 1.3 in Form 4. So guys, what's the 1.3? Anyone 1.3? Anyone can relate? Apa yang hendak dikeluarkan? Berapa yang hendak dikeluarkan? Bagaimana hendak dikeluarkan? And untuk siapa dikeluarkan? This is your masalah asas ekonomi. So that's why you can see ciri-ciri, right? So later on, we are trying to link to the masalah asas ekonomi. So this is 1.3. Okay, so that's why the question number 4 is just the basic system economy for the ciri-ciri. So guys, ciri-ciri, right? When we are trying to identify the ciri-ciri for other 3 system economy. So what is the other 3 system economy? Pasaran bebas, perancangan pusat, and campuran, right? So in order to identify the 3 system economy, pasaran bebas, system economy perancangan pusat, or system economy campuran, right? We are trying to identify the ciri-ciri with 3 P. So the first P is, who is the pemilih faktor pengeluaran within this economy? Other than the first P, second P will be, who is the penentu kehendak? Okay, so the third one will be tempat pilihan. So this is a 3P. Okay, so system economy will be different because system economy for Islam, right? We are just going to focus on the first 2P. Pemilih and penentu. So pemilihan we don't need to mention. Why? Because pemilihan, right, is after you can achieve something from penentu kehendak. So what's penentu kehendak? Let's say we are within the pasaran bebas. Who is the penentu kehendak? Depends on who is the pemilih. So guys, let me ask you guys a simple questions. In system economy pasaran bebas, who is the pemilih faktor pengeluaran? Definitely different than the perancangan pusat, right? Because perancangan pusat, pemilih will be only considered as kerajaan, right? So which means pasaran bebas is isi rumah and firma, individu and pihak swasta. So if the isi rumah and firma will be the pemilik, then they are becoming the penentu kehendak. So what's penentu kehendak? The keyword is berhak membuat keputusan ekonomi itu memaksimumkan kepuasan for isi rumah, memaksimumkan keuntungan for firma. But in system economy Islam, can we try to memaksimumkan kepuasan and keuntungan? No, because Islam is trying to berlandaskan hukum Islam, or you can rather mention syarat Islam. So what is Islam? Al-Falah. What is Al-Falah? everything they wanted to buy is not for maximizing satisfaction kepuasan. Everything the firma or pihak swasta trying to sell is not for keuntungan maximum. It's just for keuntungan yang sederhana, known as keseimbangan. So I was trying to mention the keyword here, keseimbangan for the pengguna. So pengelola also for keseimbangan. So what is keseimbangan? Alpha. So what's alpha? They can buy things, but they are not for flexing, not for materialistic. So that's why I buy things because I needed it. So this is Islam. So they can sell things for profit, but the profit is to feed their family. And then when they have more wealth, as a system economy Islam, the firma, the usahawan from this pengelola, they are trying to help the other people. So they are not trying to cause bad competition, trying to cause it another competitors to fail from this economy and then try to stay in bankruptcy. So this is what we call alpha. Everything just try to mencapai keseimbangan for system economy Islam. So that's why all the sumber economy Islam belongs to the isi rumah, firma, and kerajaan, belongs to the alat SWT. So this is the first ciri for system economy Islam, pemilik. And we try to relate it to the penentu kehendak only. We don't need to mention pembuat pilihan. Okay, so for the first three system economy, we have related to the pemilik, penentu, and pembuat pilihan. Okay. That so we have explained your first mark. All the pemilik faktor penggunaan is belongs to the alat SWT as definite, which is mulak. First mark. So that's why you have to write down the with hukum Islam. So this is your complete 1 marks here. So if you just try to mention hak milik mulak alat SWT without berlandaskan hukum Islam, so the remaining sentences when you guys try to mention keseimbangan, actually supposed to be deduct 0.5 marks. Why? Because you guys didn't mention why everything is belongs to alat SWT, because they are trying to learn the Al-Quran learnings. So Al-Quran learning is everything belongs to Allah. So that's why whatever you try, you are able to get is known as your rezeki, right? So rezeki, which means I don't want to take more. So whatever I can take is Allah given to me. So that's why I'm not going to maximize my satisfaction kepuasan. So I'm a seller, pengelola, I'm not going to maximize my profit. I just wanted to get enough profit in order to stay surviving. Okay, so this is what we call keseimbangan. Okay, so must mention the hukum Islam first, dengan mencapai alfalah. So that's why you try to enter the keseimbangan in most of your unit economy for your isi rumah and then your firma. So kerajaan also can try to control the kebebasan. So guys, I try to highlight the first one for you all. So hak milik alat SWT dengan berlandaskan hukum Islam. So if you don't want to mention hukum Islam, then you can mention dengan berlandaskan Al-Quran, same thing, which is al-falah. So no matter hukum Islam, Al-Quran is just al-falah. First mark. Second mark, pengguna dapat memilih barang. So third mark, pengeluar dapat menjualkan barang for keuntungan. Okay, so kerajaan can mengawal pengguna and pengeluar. So this is your 4 marks, right? Because this is your second mark, your third mark, and then your fourth mark, right? So what is your fifth mark here? Everything is just mencapai keseimbangan. So that's why keseimbangan is based on hukum Islam. So that's why always mention the keseimbangan. So without keseimbangan from the isi rumah, from a kerajaan, then your 0.5 marks is gone. Okay. Semua individu, which means isi rumah firma and kerajaan. Firma and kerajaan is built by human, right? It's formed by human, right? So one people, individu, one group of family as a consumer is individu. So all the individu, they can free to own their business as a usahawan. Then they are going to own the firma. So firma belongs to the individu. So individu lah. So kerajaan formed by the government party. So it's actually formed by people too. So that's why all the people is trying to practice their learnings from Al-Quran, which is hukum Islam. Okay, so I'm not using isi rumah, I'm using semua individu. So that's done for the ciri-ciri sistem ekonomi Islam. So ciri-ciri sistem ekonomi Islam, we are not going to mention the pembuat pilihan. That's just ciri-ciri and penentu. So that's why they can choose to buy things as a pengguna. So from pengelola can choose to mengeluarkan barang. Why? Because in sistem ekonomi perancangan bebas, pemilik is kerajaan, penentu is kerajaan membuat segala keputusan ekonomi. dalam memaksimumkan kebajikan masyarakat. So this is the sistem ekonomi perancangan pusat. Then pembuat pilihan will be no longer kerajaan. Pembuat pilihan for sistem ekonomi perancangan pusat is pengguna dan pengeluar, isi rumah dan firma tidak bebas dalam membuat pilihan terhadap barangan dan perkhidmatan yang dibeli atau dijual. So which means pembuat pilihan usually is just trying to focus on the pasaran bebas, perancangan pusat and campuran, not going to be related to your system economy Islam. That's why form 4 when you guys are learning, right? I try to teach using my full answer. Give point form, ask you guys to be in the ayat. Or if you guys cannot be in the ayat, I try to write the answer for you all. But even though form 5 now, I'm still trying to create the answer for you all, is the techniques you guys trying to write. So that's why you guys can using your form 4, but you guys are not able to get 5 marks here because the 5 marks in your form 4 supposedly is 6 marks. That's why form 5 syllabus always try to have lesser 1 mark here compared to your form 4 same answer. Why? You guys have to learn the techniques. So that's why the techniques here, to need to measure pembuat pilihan within your system economy Islam. That's the pemilik and the penentu kehendak. So what's penentu kehendak? They can buy things for memaksimumkan kepuasan, keuntungan, dan kebajikan masyarakat. But Islam is not for memaksimumkan, just for keseimbangan. Sungguh Islam is keseimbangan under the Al-Falah teaching. Done, okay, so this is still very basic, guys. We still in part 1 after the 1 whole hour. Yeah, so number 5, system economy with the masalah asas economy. So highlight system economy with masalah asas economy. This is your 1.4b with your 1.3. So that's our 1.2 KPKR always combined with your 1.4a KKP. Okay, so this is your masalah asas economy, which is the upper berapa bagaimana into separat always linked to your system economy in such situation. But maybe they can try to split up, which means they are not going to focus on any system economy, just asking for the masalah asas economy in, let's say, system economy campuran only. Still system economy or pasaran bebas. So that's why this question is trying to focus the masalah asas economy on both different system economy. So guys, X tidak campur tangan. Y is tangan. Tidak campur tangan dalam kegiatan ekonomi. So this is what we call pasaran bebas. So this perkuasa penuh, this is what we call perancangan pusat. So we have different terms to start and copy. Oh, pasaran bebas, kapitalis, laissez-faire. You only just choose one to copy. Okay, so pasaran bebas opposite perancangan pusat. Kapitalis, socialist. Communist, laissez-faire. But usually laissez-faire is going to come up in only objective questions. The French word. Okay, so 2 marks that just nyatakan the system economy. They didn't mention the huraikan, terangkan, or jelaskan. So that's one nyatakan, just write down, this is system economy. So if they ask you guys to jelaskan, which means this is going to become 4 marks. So how to get the 4 marks here? You have to start with, this system economy X is pasaran bebas kerana pemilik faktor pengeluaran ialah isi rumah dan firma. So the pemilik for negara Y will be kerajaan secara mutlak. That will be a 4 marks here. Okay. So 6 mark here, guys. Highlight this is W. We have X and Y. What is W? So W, X, Y, Z. So W is the combination of X and Y. Okay. So this is your system economy, campuran. Yeah, because campuran is harder to answer according to all the ciri-ciri. So bagaimana sistem negara W menyelesaikan ABBU for the masalah asas economy? So we have to mention yang penentu kehendak. So penentu kehendak will be the keyword. Yeah, so we have to mention the isi rumah first, known as pengguna. I prefer you guys to use pengguna. So pengguna will be the penentu kehendak. So the keyword will be also berhak. So pengguna as a penentu kehendak within the masa asas economy is they have the right to buy whatever the things for memaksimumkan kepuasan. This is your 2 marks here. Okay. Okay, and then followed by the pihak swasta. I prefer you guys to write down pengeluar. So pengeluar is also berhak to compete within the pasaran on their barang perkhidmatan for memaksimumkan keuntungan. This is your another 2 marks. Total 4 marks already. So the last one, kerajaan as a penentu kehendak. They are trying to membuat keputusan ekonomi on barang awam. So be careful. Kerajaan is not mengeluarkan barang ekonomi. For the barang ekonomi is only for pengeluar and pengguna. So kerajaan is trying to mengeluarkan the barang for those golongan miskin like me. So that's why they are trying to help the people welfare, to maximize the welfare for the people. Okay, done. So this is your total 6 marks. That's why your 6 marks here, 2 marks for the pengguna, okay, 2 marks for the pengelola, 2 marks for the keraja. Then why do I try to write such a some long sentences in front so that we can easily try to mention W will be the campuran. So that's why in exam you guys can skip. Okay, I just try to write down sistem ekonomi negara W ialah campuran dengan pengguna sebagai penentu kehendak yang berhak bla 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 bla. Okay, so that's why usually your first sentences just known as kata buka. So I'm going to teach you guys how to write kata buka for the exercises, for the questions. Usually it's 6 marks and above. I always try to prepare the kata buka so that you guys don't need to keep repeating. Sistem ekonomi campuran negara W dengan individu sebagai bentuk kehendak. And then try to repeat again, sistem ekonomi campuran untuk pengelola sebagai bentuk kehendak. So I don't need to keep repeating the sistem ekonomi campuran. So I start for the first sentence first, then the remaining sentences can be easier to uraikan for the pengguna, pengelola, and keraja. Done. Okay. So we have another 1 more hour. We still have to enter the bug 2, bug 3. If I really cannot enter the bug 3 and bug 4, right? Get my contact number. I try to arrange another extra class for you all. Yeah. Then you leave on time. Okay? Because I'm not going to enter the class so early. So done. For the 1.4 E system economy with your master asas economy 1.3. That's it. And let me know. You see the screen, then copy, let me know. We proceed to the bug 3. Because bug 2, demand and supply, is going to spend another 2 hours to just focus on demand and supply. So not going to cover in the seminar notes. So that's bug 3 now. Shall we? Next page, page 4. Then copy, let me know, guys. Later on, I try to spend another 15 or 20 minutes to settle one essay question for the last question before we ending the whole seminar. Because you guys already get used to how to answer for the structure, right? So that's why I try the seminar with only one essay question that I didn't have time to prepare the answer. Sorry. Still not done copying, guys. Done. So I'm freezing now. So next one is your bug 3. Bug 2 is your demand supply. So guys, right now within the page number 4 on top here. So this is bug 3. What is your bug 2? Bug 2 is your demand and supply. So it's going to cause your keseimbangan pasaran, known as titik keseimbangan, right? E. So after that, this is your bug 2.1 and 2.2. So this 2.1, this 2.2 for the keseimbangan. Guys, what is your 2.3? The 2.3 is keanjalan. So that's why I try to jot down which part you guys need me to further explain. So keanjalan, you remember the formula? Keanjalan for the permintaan and penawaran, we have peratus perubahan quantity divided by peratus perubahan harga. So more than one is anjal, less than one is tidak anjal. But remember, the more than one and less than one is not included demand, is also included the demand, the demand for the negative, supply for the positive. So negative or positive is just for your demand and supply. So this is your negative, positive or supply. So more than one or less than one, anjal or tidak anjal. Anjal slash tidak anjal. Okay, so part 3. What is in 1? So that's why this is the definition in your textbook. Try your best to highlight. Satu komoditi diterima umum. So diterima umum is your ciri. So sebagai alat perantaraan pertukaran, this is your fungsi, ciri and fungsi. Okay, can anyone recall how many ciri wang you guys can memorize? Ciri wang. Can recall things here? You hear? Yeah, no, we have 6 ciri wang. Tahan lama, bersains kecil, mudah dibawa ke mana-mana. Okay, and then nilai yang stabil, penawaran yang terhad, diterima umum. So this is the 6 ciri. So how many fungsi wang? We have 4. So that's why this is what we call revision. It's not going to settle within 1 or 2 days or just 1 week. You guys have to keep continuing conducting your own revisions whenever you guys are free. You guys are Form 5 now, no longer Form 4. So that's why it's about time after your midterm exam. Try to slowly quitting your society, your club, your uniform, and then try to focus on your academy now for your SPM result. Okay, yeah, you guys have to slowly give up all the activity. Okay, done, huh? So every day, try to set up your own schedule. So maybe for the Monday, you guys have, let's say, 50 minutes. Just try to quickly go through, let's say, the formula for MS. So Tuesday, you guys try to have found your history, what is the timeline, and then for which chapter. So maybe Wednesday, try to focus on 15 minutes only revision time. Or let's say, what is the content for your essay for BMBI or BCO if you guys are taking it. Yeah, or maybe Thursday, Friday, or maybe Saturday, try to spare at least let's say weekend, you guys try to spend at least 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours to practice your science exercises, your maths, or maybe your accounts, economy. No? So when you guys are practice, right, any questions, spam, ask your teacher. Teacher, this question I don't understand. Okay, so when your teacher is not replying, spam another time. Okay, no time for you guys to wander around. So that for the first mark here. So that's why 6 mark. Fungsi, 4 fungsi. So the first fungsi not related to the article here is known as your alat perantaraan pertukaran. Second fungsi is alat pengukuran nilai. Third fungsi is alat penyimpanan nilai. The fourth one will be alat perantaraan tertunda. So guys, can anyone tell me why this iklan advertisement didn't have the alat perantaraan pertukaran? Because the keyword for alat perantaraan pertukaran is we are able to conduct joint and bully. So we are paying the money to buy the house. So from this advertisement, do we see anyone is paying the money? No, right? So that's why this is irrelevant from the fungsi related to the iklan. So that's why related to the iklan will be, this is the price. So when you guys are trying to buy a house, they are going to show what is the price for this house. Maybe not for the full money, they are going to write out approximately 36,000. But maybe the 36,000 is 36,999 ringgit. Still considered as 36, right? So this is what we call marketing strategy, but this is not economy, right? So this is what we call, we can comparing the price, not as alat pengukuran nilai. So maybe you can try to buy the double story in Puchong. So Puchong is going to become, let's say, 500,000. So if you wanted to buy the double-story house in, let's say, PJ is going to cost around 700,000. Maybe it's even more expensive. I'm just trying to mention the basic unit. So this is why we can try to mengukur nilai dalam bentuk harga. So this is your huraian dalam bentuk harga, which is your RM 36,000. Sorry, 368,800. Okay, so this is your 2 marks. So if this is alat penyimpanan nilai, what is the huraian? So which means the one is stabil and bertahan lama, because we are able to get charged 4.15% every year, which means the value is still considered less than 5%, right? You guys already learned the Form 5, right? Menstabilkan the tingkat harga umum. So the current inflation is using IHP to calculate, to measure, then the current inflation has to be less than 5%. So 4.15 is considered one nilai yang stabil. So the one can try to store for longer period comparing to all the system pattern. Okay, so the last 2 marks, 6 marks, right? Which is the 5th and 6th. Alat barang tertunda, which is we are able to buy this house secara angsuran. So secara angsuran bulanan for 1,288 mentions here. So this is your alat barang tertunda. So this is 4.15 setahun is alat penyimpanan nilai. Even though we didn't save the money in bank, but we are going to get charged interest because the money value is quite stable. So the first one, this price we are able to value it in bentuk harga RM, which is ukuran nilai. If more than 5, that one is known as inflasi lah. So inflasi below 5%, let's say 2 to 3, inflasi merayap. Close to 5%, so until almost 5.99, right? So more than 5.99, which means 6% almost is just known as inflasi. Kerajaan tidak dapat menstabilkan tingkat harga umum. So that's why most of the interest here is not going to get charged more than 5% because they have to maintain the kestabilan nilai mata wang. No matter it's bank pusat or the bank perdagangan. Bank perdagangan have to listen to the bank pusat. Done? Yeah. So your part 3, right? We have 2 parts. So part 3A is about the bank pusat and then the bank perdagangan. Okay, so the part 3B is about your pendapatan boleh guna. So I try my best because yesterday night, I have my Form 2 seminar. So that's why I didn't have time to prepare a lot of answer and I fell asleep. I really need more rest. So that's why I think my answer I only prepared until this part already. So that's why the pinjaman later on, let's try to focus if you guys wanted to focus at. So if you guys don't want, then I try to teach you guys for the part 3B, for pendapatan boleh guna, potongan margin, that kind of exercises for part 3. Okay, so done for the fungsi one. So do you guys still wanted to focus on question number 7? Because 1A, 1 kertas, 1B, check. So the content is really easy, right? So I just try to show you guys the answer, but be careful. This is the keyword bandingkan. So bandingkan is a keyword. Provide the 1 mark for persamaan. So that's why you guys can choose either. They have the same fungsi. Alam perantara pertukaran for jual beli barang dan perkhidmatan. No matter it's using 1A or 1B. Other than that, they are going to know as the wang tanda. What is wang tanda? Their surface value is higher than their paper value. So wang tanda nilai muka melebihi nilai kertas. So just choose one to answer. Why? Because you are going to score for 5 marks. So if you're trying to write down 2 persamaan, so this is a 2 marks, right? So you still have another 3 marks. But perbedaan usually is going to show the differences for the 2 marks here, A and B. So another 2 more marks, A and B. So if you just try to write down 2 persamaan for 2 marks and then 1 perbedaan for still the same 2 marks. So you're only going to score for 4 marks only in total of 5. In order to score the full 5 marks, choose 1 persamaan and then 2 perbedaan. So what's the 2 perbedaan? This one disediakan oleh kerajaan. So B disediakan oleh bank perdagangan or bank swasta. So these are differences. So remember, if you prefer to build in sentences any, we are using manakala in between. So try to slash here. So this is referring to your manakala. So the 5th and 6th mark will be, this is prepared by government, right? So known as wang sah. So this is known as wang sah. Okay. Simple, right? So the only problem will be try to understand the keyword from your soalan, bandingkan how to tackle to score for full marks. So finish. Give you guys all the point for one. That's why I didn't try to drag on these questions already more than 1 hour. Yeah, so guys, fungsi bank pusat. Try your best to copy lah, guys. Yeah, so bank pusat, how many fungsi? So before we try to start, fungsi for bank pusat, how many fungsi, guys? Very good, 5 fungsi. So what's the first fungsi? First fungsi is trying to give us the wangsa to use. So guys, first fungsi is mengeluarkan ringgit Malaysia, which is mata wang. So write down first one. Yeah, keluar. So you guys can try to write down keluarkan is mengeluarkan, right? Keluar mata wang dalam bentuk ringgit Malaysia. So dalam bentuk ringgit Malaysia. Do not try to write down short form RM. So this is your second fungsi. After they are trying to mengeluarkan wang, right? So can the wang sah, the wang bukan sah. Yeah. So wang bukan sah is the basic check. But within the wang sah, right? Because you guys got notice, why is tidak terhad? Paper notes is able to keep reprinting it, which means we have another wang sah yang terhad, which is known as shilling, right? So no matter is your wang sah terhad, ada wang sah dia terhad, this shilling and wang kertas. These two have to depend on result. antarabangsa, which means our government have the result antarabangsa for 100%. So 80.59 is wanted to keep within the World Bank so that when we have any debts, we can using the result antarabangsa, the remaining 80.559 to settle the debts. So the remaining 19 and 56 will be our mata wang. So we are using the result antarabangsa to print this amount of wangsa. Understand? So which means we have to mengawal kestabilan nilai mata wang. Then this is the second fungsi lah, mengawal kestabilan nilai mata wang. Okay, so this is your second fungsi ah. So I lazy to write down. Sorry guys. Mengawal nilai kestabilan, this is your second fungsi. So first fungsi done, second fungsi lazy to write, so you can just try to highlight. Mengawal kestabilan nilai mata wang dengan, so I try to mention this keyword. Mengawal result antarabangsa for the minimum 80.59. So the remaining 19.41, sorry, 41 will be your wangsa terhad and wangsa tidak terhad. This shilling and wang kertas. Okay, so what's the third fungsi? Third fungsi for the bank pusat. Third fungsi will be jurubank kepada keraja. So this is third fungsi. The fourth fungsi will be jurubank kepada bank-bank berdagangan. So we have jurubank kepada keraja, we have jurubank kepada bank perdagangan. So four fungsi, right? So anyone can recall what's the last fungsi? Last fungsi as a kerajaan, sorry, as a bank pusat. So they are trying to your current Form 5 syllabus, right? 1.3 for the ala dasar economy. So this is your fifth fungsi, which means they are trying to mengkawal kestabilan ekonomi. Kawal kestabilan ekonomi negara. Economy. So which means using the IHP current inflation to control, or maybe using the dasar fiskal and dasar keuangan. So bracket, we can using the IHP, which is your kadar inflasi to control, or we can use it another one as your dasar economy, right? So ala dasar economy, we have ala dasar fiskal, which is your hasil and perbelanjaan slash dasar keuangan. So dasar keuangan, we are going to learn it within our normal tuition class for the upcoming 2 more weeks. Which is week 4 and then week 1 in May. So this is your 4 marks here. So we have 3 points. How do we score for 4 marks? Just try to choose 2 to copy. Okay, choose 2 to copy. Government print money to pay debts. So if you keep printing the money, right, then your total reserve will be lesser and lesser because you are trying to print more money. So let's say our wangsa is no longer 19.4%. We are trying to using more reserve here to print more money. Let's say we are using 30% to print the money. So which means we are left 70% as our result antarabangsa. So which means we have lesser savings to pay for our import export and then the debts within the import. So which means if any other country know that your country is using a lot of reserve to print more money. So guys, first situation, when you try to supply of a lot of money, right, your pengalaman, your supply for the money is increasing, then your nilai will be lesser. Your money will be less value. Other than that, when your reserve, your savings is lesser, then you have lesser money to conduct your import export, which means you are not going to buy a lot of current currency. So which means you didn't have the wang asing. So you have a lesser wang asing, then you are not going to conduct a lot of import export. So which means this is the consequences when you try to print more money. So your value will become lesser. You have lower purchasing power. So you try to have lesser chances to keep other countries' currency, which means you are not able to have enough foreign currency to conduct the import export, which means your pertumbuhan economy will be slowing down. That's what we call economy. Okay, done. So this is your result antarabangsa for 80.59%. So the remaining 90.41 will be your mata wang. Okay, so in order to make sure your nilai wang is going to maintain at 19.41 supply, and the value have to be fixed. So that's why campur tangan on jual beli ringgit Malaysia. So which means when our currency here is lower in value. So lower in value, right? We try to reduce the supply, right? So which means we try to buy back all the ringgit Malaysia from other country so that we keep back our ringgit Malaysia. So our supply ringgit Malaysia to the whole world will be lesser. Our value will slowly increasing. Okay. So current inflation, which means as long as we are able to have lower than 5% for the inflation rate, then our money value will be stable. So I prefer you guys to memorize the first one and then the third one. Because campur tangan this one, right, is your Form 5 up to for the current tukar asing forex exchange. Okay, so what entry is easier? So the next one, guys, I think I need another break. Yeah. I think tomorrow I'm going to force it again. Yeah. Continuously have to teach one few whole weeks. I'm going to have slightly flu now. Okay, so juruban kepada kerajaan is your third fungsi kerajaan, right? So 6 mark. I'm trying to give you guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, guys. All the answer is packed together, right? Sorry, I think it's easier to copy, right? I hope this is easier for you guys to copy. So mentapik account kerajaan. So the remaining will be your huraian. This is all your huraian. So memberi pendahuluan sementara. Okay. So mengurus hutang negara is the third fungsi bank besar sebagai jurubank kepada kerajaan. So bertanggungjawab on all the hutang-hutang, all the debts. So sebagai penasihat pelaburan for all the activity pelaburan and then mengkaji. So mengurus pertukaran asing to memastikan the reserve antarabangsa is mencukupi and then the money value is stable. So guys, we just needed to score for 6 marks. Try to copy all 5 answers here. That will be your 10 marks, right? So which means the easiest 6 mark ever, the 3 fungsi. I would prefer you guys to memorize the first one, mentapik account kerajaan, even though it's longer, right? It's the most obvious one to mention. You guys can try to skip all the huraian like bank besar sebagai jurubank kepada kerajaan adalah mentapik account kerajaan melalui account kewangan, pinjaman kewangan dan menerima pembayaran. That's it. So this is your main keywords. Melalui account kewangan, common account pinjaman kewangan dan menerima pembayaran dari luar negara. So this is your shorter explanation, Brian, under the account kerajaan. So the next one, I prefer you guys to mention sebagai penasihat pelaburan and then mengurus pertukaran asing. That's why the center two, right? Your preference. If you guys wanted to replace any recommendations from mine, then you guys try to choose either 2 or 3 to huraikan for your jurubank kepada kerajaan. Okay. So that's the answer I prepared until yesterday before I get dinner. So after I get dinner, I pass up. Got really tired. So pinjaman, do you guys want to continue? Jonathan already 11:30. Right. Time copy. Then get an answer remaining from teacher Shirina because I'm going to post my answer within the WhatsApp group, not within the barcode. Yeah. So someone said no need to mention the pinjaman. So remember, I'm not going to discuss, but before we skip these questions, what is kemudahan overdraft? This pinjaman we can try to get from which bank? Bank Pusat or Bank Perdagangan? Easiest answer for you, right? Kemudahan overdraft. Okay, answer already here, Bank Perdagangan. So before we try to skip the whole question number 10, 11 for under the Bank Perdagangan, right? So guys, how many fungsi for Bank Perdagangan? Anyone can recall fungsi for Bank Perdagangan? Divya, Jonathan? 3. So we have another additional one. That one is line. So that's why we have only 3 major fungsi for Bank Perdagangan. So very good. So the first one is, before we try to refer to the remaining questions, the first fungsi will be bank is helping us to keep money. That's why we get interest from that. So, menerima deposit daripada orang ramai. Very good. Terima deposit. So, menerima deposit daripada orang ramai lah. So, what's the second fungsi? So, if we can keep the money in bank to get interest, right? So, we have three accounts, right? Account semasa with no interest, almost the lowest one. So, account semasa with kadar faedah yang rendah. So, account simpanan tetap, so fixed deposit FD is kadar faedah yang tinggi. So, if we can keep the money in bank, so that's why we can use the account to conduct transaction. So, menerima dan membuat barang. Oh, very good, Annie. Which school are you from, Annie? Impressed by your memory, membuat dan menerima barang. Yeah, I just try to write down the full form. Membuat dan menerima pembayaran. Okay, what is the third last fungsi? If we wanted to conduct any transactions but we are insufficient money, what can we do? Memberi pinjaman kepada orang ramai loh. So, menerima deposit daripada orang ramai, memberi pinjaman kepada orang ramai. So, memberi pinjaman. Okay, so kemudian overdraft is only for the account semasa. So, bracket for the pemilik under account semasa. So, which means account semasa for the pemilik or the pemegang account semasa, they can use check. Okay, so I'm going to cover this part. So all the bank perdagangan, I assume is not going to come up more than 6 marks, minimum 2 marks within the objective or structure. So that's why I'm going to skip the full bank perdagangan. Okay, so barang around 3 to 4 marks here for the credit and then the tunai. So I think this is for Form 4 syllabus. Form 5 no longer asking such way. So I'm going to skip all the bank perdagangan. So guys, pendapatan individu, this is your bab 3B. So pendapatan individu, do we have to cover this part? So PBG, what is PBG? Anyone? PBG? PBG. Pendapatan minus what? Hello? Is using your pendapatan minus? You're being quiet for the whole class. Really zero. So you got matter of which topics you want me to give you extra class. I'm willing to 101 using Chinese, Mandarin, using English, using Cantonese. I can one. As long as you ask me, I really worry your result because you're being too quiet in my class. So pendapatan minus. Hi, Jonathan. Yeah, the rest, Divya. 4. Caruman progressor, caruman EPF, KWSP, zakat, and then cukai pendapatan. So this 4 is known as what? Any? Very good. Okay. I wanted to get your paper, Annie, after your midterm seminar, after your midterm exam. I wanted to get your paper. Okay, 100% I want to get your paper. Yeah, so Jingxian, no idea. The 4th item, caruman progressor, caruman KWSP is known as your potongan wajib. Okay, so I think this one is quite hot questions within your Form 5 exercises. So guys, calculate.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Hi, Jonathan. So which one is your pendapatan boleh guna? So we try to identify which one is pendapatan first. So pendapatan for P, potongan wajib for PW. Okay, so that you guys can try to jot down behind the table. So gaji definitely is pendapatan, right? Allowance tempat tinggal, this is for December 2016. So allowance is the money given by the company, right? This is also pendapatan. So allowance pengangkutan, pendapatan. Potongan cukai, pendapatan individu. So guys, what is potongan cukai? Highlight. The cukai pendapatan. So you have to minus your money income for 180 to pay for the cukai pendapatan every month. So this is your potongan wajib. Cara makan WSP, potongan wajib. Dividend, because maybe this Encik Ibrahim got invest in some share. So that's why the share is going to share the dividend, which means perkongsian keuntungan to this Encik Ibrahim monthly. So this is known as pendapatan. So para insurance, ada pendapatan atau potongan wajib? Any? Cincin, Sirania, and Libya. Bayaran pendapatan atau potongan wajib? The answer is not relevant. Okay, Jingxian, this is how fun I'm trying to trick the students. No, sorry, Jingxian. Sorry. So remember, potongan wajib is caruman. Right now, potongan wajib, we have 4 items. Caruman, KWSP, and KXW block. KWSP. So we have caruman per. Okay, so the third one we have zakat. So the fourth one, this is all under potongan wajib. So the last one is your cukai pendapatan. So the bayaran is not within this 4 category. So that's why this is some content, some butiran. The paper try to confuse you all. So that's why just now I try to trick you. Yeah, sorry, Jingxian. So zakat, this is the potongan wajib. So perkeso, potongan wajib. So that's why we just try to ignore question number 7. So which means the remaining one, so the one I try to highlight, this is what we call potongan wajib. So the remaining is the pendapatan. So how to get the 4 marks here? So write down the formula. PBG, lazy, PBG equals to pendapatan minus potongan wajib. So equals to pendapatan bracket, we have first one, 3,500 plus RM, 450 plus RM, 300, so plus another RM, 480. Okay, minus all the potongan wajib. So minus potongan wajib, we have RM. For the first one, cukai pendapatan is 180 plus another caramel anniversary 392 plus zakat 80 ringgit plus caramel perkeso 90. Okay, so that's all your final answer. Okay, guys, copy for me. 2088 So this answer is from, okay, good students. So any, remember, give me exam paper. Able to get more than A. Yeah, you all Jingxian, you all make a deal with me during the normal tuition class. Let me know what is the expected marks for the midterm. Okay, so that's why we make a deal. You can, if you can score it, then I belanja you milk tea. Yeah, 1 milk tea to boost your motivation. Okay, chip for me. Okay, so that, so belanja everybody, I assume is no longer to come up in your form 5 lah. So I'm going to skip all the part 3 now. Okay, credit might be coming out in the exam. So that's why the form for part 3, right? I estimate is no longer more than 6 marks for your whole midterm exam, right? Because I assume that they're going to ask for the fungsi bank perdagangan, fungsi bank pusat, or maybe the kaedah pembayaran credit. Yeah, sorry. I haven't asked which school are you guys from. So any Jingxian, Siraya, because that's not all the format I assuming in your midterm exam is for Catalan High School. Sorry. Okay, so if you guys are from other school, maybe your midterm exam format will be different, but still, they are not going to allocate more than 6 marks here for your midterm exam because they have more marks to ask in your form 5. Yeah, they have more marks to ask. Okay, let me know which school are you guys from. So part 3, I'm going to skip. So this is quite important for home part SPM. So that's why I try to revise now, and then we try to rest 1 or 2 minutes, then we enter the essay questions. If you guys want it, I can give you the extra class for essay questions. So pelaburan. So bezakan keyword after we are learning so many hours, 1.5 hours. So any Jingxian, Siranya, right? And then Tibia. So bezakan we have to mention keyword. Oh, kata ke morning. Why you don't want to attend the physical class? Sirania. KK can try to attend teacher Shunhui, right? Why didn't attend her class? Yeah, I tried to attend her class. She's teaching quite well. Okay, for physically. So guys, the keyword for basic is very good, Manakala. or try only, okay, no problem. Then later on, you try to get, don't need to request, right? Just watch the recording from teacher Shunuhui, okay? So guys, manakala. So they are asking for pertukaran asing and unit amanah. So highlight pertukaran asing, this part. Unit amanah, this part. So what is the difference here? First 2 mark. Tahap risiko rendah, tinggi. In extent, they wouldn't give you this table. That's why we purposely try to print out this table for you guys to refer. And then this is the we have three questions going to come up related to the pelaboran, other than just savings and then trying to get the interest. So this is pelaboran trying to get the ganjaran known as the reader. So pelaboran. So we can invest in savings also. So the savings, this is what we call faedah. So faedah, yeah, rendah. Okay, so that's why we never mention the faedah, kara faedah. We are just trying to mention the tahap pulangan. So tahap pulangan from simpanan tetap will be lower return because the interest, even comparing the simpanan tetap and simpanan tetap has higher interest compared to the normal savings. But the simpanan tetap compared to other investment here is still consider tahap pulangan and rendah because high risk, high return. So that's why all the remaining here is higher risk. So we have one free risk one. So free risk first two, security and simpanan. So this two is based on kara faedah. Okay, I try to highlight first. So these are 2 marks. So tahap pulangan, rendah and tinggi, because we have to find the perbezaan, right? So if you look at the tahap kecairan, tinggi. So no chance. That's why it's easier for you guys to refer to the table here. But imagine in exam, you guys didn't have the table. It's harder, right? So guys, this is the first combination. I'm using another color. So that's why if you have other highlighted color, try to highlight. Other than these two, unit amanah and forex, school also trying to ask for questions like simpanan tetap with saham syarikat. So simpanan tetap, you guys can see the tahap risiko is free, totally no risk. You're not going to lose all your fund. But your saham syarikat, yes, you can get high return, but high risk, high return. But for the simpanan tetap, free risk, low return. So this is the second type of questions going to ask for the perbezaan pelaburan. So first one is forex and unit amanah. So next one is simpanan tetap and saham syarikat. The third one, don't need to focus on because I haven't counted the security kerajaan yet. So this is your dasar kewangan. So security kerajaan also known as surat jaminan kerajaan. Right now, surat jaminan. So we have one short form for the surat jaminan or security kerajaan known as bond. But this bond is from kerajaan. We have bond from private company, private bank, or we have bond from kerajaan. Okay, based on trust only. Okay, so that you guys can construct your short sentences, right? For the particular answer. So the tahap risiko is rendah. Tinggi. Particular answer. Tahap risiko is tinggi. So tahap risiko for amanah is rendah. So that's the easy 2 marks for you all. So try to memorize this table and then don't waste time to memorize the logam berharga, which is the gold, and then the hartanah. So usually it's going to ask the 1, 2, 3, and the last two. So the middle two group we can ignore. So this is a short methods I can try to encourage you guys to memorize the table. In exam, they wouldn't give you this table. Okay. So high risk, high return, low risk, low return. So that for your part 3. So part 4. A lot of students is weak at part 4, right? So guys, what is part 4 trying to relate it to? So before I start the seminar, I try to keep hinting you guys, right? Input and output. How many input? How many output? Tirania, if you answer this one, I report to teacher Shunhuya. Your students can answer input output. Then you teach. Okay, quick. How many input? Sumber economy. Which sumber economy, or known as a factor pengeran, we have 4 TNBU. So what is output? Barang and perkhidmatan. So this is your B and P. So we have only 2 output. Yeah, from 5 already. So guys, input X and input Y. So we have two input, right? So within the input, from your tanah, modal, buruh, and usahawan, try to separate into the two categories of input. So actually your answer is quite correct, Sirania, because I know you wanted to measure. Teacher, I thought input we have only tetap and berubah. Yes, but when we are trying to measure the input, you guys have to refer to your tanah, modal, buruh, usahawan from the title. But the content is, yes, we have the input tetap or input berubah. Okay, so is it why is input tetap? Why is what? So we have only two input. Why is label? Please, yeah, want to try again? Input what is input? Berubah. Input X. Input X will be very different, right? Yeah, why is it input tetap then, Jingxian? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to mention about the definition later. So guys, input X, right now is your input tetap. So any input Y is your input berubah. What is the keyword for input tetap and input berubah, guys? What's the keyword? Input tetap, input berubah. So try to draw another lines here so that we can try to give the first sentences here as definisi, not as tafsiran. So this is your tafsiran. Maksud pas input berubah, pas input tetap. No one. Input tetap is their quantity is not going to change within a short period. So you guys can try to copy input. Okay, we are trying to write down input tetap. Okay, let me try to use tempo master. Okay, we're using tempo master first. Input tetap. So input tetap hanya wujud. Okay, using this word wujud dalam jangka masa, guys, panjang or pendek. Very good, Angie. Okay, so this is only short period. Input tetap. So that's why is input tetap? Within jangka masa pendek, the paham mentah is going to become this specific quantity. But if more than a jangka masa pendek, let's say 1 year, more than 1 year, right? So this is no longer known as input tetap. Okay, so input berubah is able to exist in either short or long period. So later I'm trying to explain. So input berubah wujud dalam jangka masa pendek dan panjang. Why? Imagine we are trying to grow the sawah paddy. The paddy, this is the young paddy, right? So the young paddy is going to have the fixed quantity for jangka masa pendek. Let's say assume 1 year. But within this 1 year, our buruh maybe can try to tetapkan for 3 people. But after 1 year, maybe we are trying to grow more field for the paddy farm, right? So maybe we are going to increase more buruh. So that's why the buruh can increasing and decreasing within the jangka masa pendek or panjang. But the plants here for the paddy young plants is going to fix for the jangka masa pendek. But after more than 1 year, it's going to get increasing because we wanted to grow for more paddy, right? So that's why input tetap only for short period. So if we are able to increase the quantity for the young paddy farm, these plants, so which means it's no longer considered as input tetap. It's going to become same as the buruh, not as input berubah. So that's why buruh, we are trying to fix the 3 workers within 1 year, can input tetap. But also we can try to increase or decrease the workers into input berubah too. Okay, so this one we have to fix. This one we can increase or decrease anytime we want. Understand, right? Input total and input berubah. Okay, so this is your easy 2 marks here. 2 marks only, guys. 1 mark, 2 marks. That's why this is what we call input tetap is a jenis, right? We didn't have the definition, but we can try to use this ciri-ciri as the tafsiran. As the tafsiran. Okay, yeah, let me try to think carefully. Wait, this question is a lot of issue, guys, because buruh can adjustable, right? Actually, the bahan mentah X is also known as bahan mentah, right? Resources, bahan mentah. Actually, bahan mentah also can fix and change within a short time. But this is due to the paddy farm, we have the fixed shape, right? So fixed size for the paddy farm. So that's why in order to grow the young plants from this paddy, so it's going to consider as the top, but it can change to input berubah to how? Maybe we have this large size of paddy farm, but we're just going to grow 50%. That's why this is going to become vary for the quantity. But anyhow, buruh is always input berubah, buruh, because we can increase or decrease within short time or longer period. But the tanah is going, yeah, that's why this is bahan mentah, right? This is the terms I wanted to get to you all. So if this is bahan mentah, right, it's same as your buruh. But the bahan mentah is actually grow on tanah. So tanah is definitely known as input tetap. Input tetap. So right now, input tetap usually is referring to the tanah in your nota. But if this is bahan mentah, right, bahan mentah is same as your buruh. So it's no longer referred to the paddy farm here. So paddy grow on the tanah. So tanah is input tetap. So we are not going to change the field size within 1 year because it's going to take a lot of time to exploiting the whole jungle into the paddy farm, and then we are going to need more money to explore this area. So that's why within 1 year, we are not going to change the size for this paddy farm. Done, So that's other than that. What's the other third and fourth mark? Input tetap, yeah, quantity is not going to change. That's why you can try to write down quantity input tetap tidak berubah pada sebarang tingkat output. So no matter you're trying to produce more or less for the output, barang and perkhidmatan, right, your input tetap the tanah still remain the same unit. So opposite. So quantity input berubah, ya, akan berubah lah, mengikut tingkat output. You guys know what's output, right? Output is keluaran, same thing. So this is your third and fourth one. So one is not going to change. Or if you are easy to write down, tidak berubah. So you can try to mention as tetap. Quantity input tetap, akan tetap. So I prefer to use tidak berubah lah. Okay, so done already. So this is the last answer. A lot of students forgotten. So any tidak berubah mengikut quantity keluaran, right? So one more. Give me the answer sifar. Anyone? Sifar. I try to mention the two answers here. So one is tingkat output ialah sifar. Why is sifar? Zero, close to zero. So tingkat output ialah sifar. Ya. Masih wujud input tetap. Yes, we have the output is zero. Masih input masih wujud lah. Ya, masih wujud. Very good. Masih wujud input tetap. Okay, so what is the opposite of bukan sifar? Sorry, tingkat output. Wait. So when you are trying to produce zero output, right? Tingkat output sifar, comma, tidak wujud input per ubah. So this is why when we are trying to produce zero, so the input per ubah is going to become zero. So this is what we call akan berubah mengikut tingkat output. So which means your input is going to follow the output. So when the output increase, your input also increase. So when output is decreased, then the input also decrease. Okay, so I prefer to use this sentence to replace the input akan bertambah apabila output meningkat. Dan sebaliknya, I'm really lazy to use the long sentence. So that's why this is what we call output meningkat atau menurun, input tetap tidak akan berubah. So I lazy to use the longer sentences because these short sentences can replace, you guys can refer to the textbook. I really don't like the long sentences from textbook or TDC nota. I prefer these sentences to replace the long-winded one. So this is SIFA. So this is going to exist, this is not going to exist. So this is the most obvious point form you guys can try to get from your textbook and then TDC nota because yeah, this is still going to exist, this is not going to exist. So this is your dana tetap. Dana. So calculation. Do we still have to go through? We have another 5 more minutes. Can we try at least one essay questions? I try to prepare the point form for you all, then you guys try to write me the answer. If you guys are able to send to your your economy teacher and mark. So let's say Sirania, you can send to your teacher geography to mark for the long essay. But I think she's just going to send you the full answer because she's more busy than I am. Okay, now, so guys, we're going to do the calculations. If you need the calculations, let me know. Extra class also. So guys, go to all your essay questions. Okay, so project faedah social mencapai guna tenaga. So page number 13. So this not going to count anymore. Objective. Okay, guys, I'm going to skip the question 28 because what is barang social in your form 4 part 4? Sorry, form 5 part 1, barang social. So this is your form 4 part 4 faedah social. So right now, barang social is your form 5 part 1. Barang yang boleh digunakan oleh semua masyarakat dan mencapai manfaat terbesar for the whole society. As long as one people here, let's say TVR is trying to get the barang social, let's say pendidikan from sekolah. So this is going to manfaat kepada masyarakat, seluruh masyarakat. Why? Because maybe TVR is trying to get the education, getting the knowledge, try to contribute to the whole society, to the whole country. So membawa manfaat terbesar kepada masyarakat. Yeah. So faedah social is your form 4, bab 4. So what is faedah social? Faedah is kesan positif. Kesan positif for the social, which means we have 2 faedah. So that's why what are the 2 faedah within the faedah social? 2 faedah. We have faedah peribadi, direct benefits, and then we have the faedah luaran, indirect benefits. Okay, so try to refer back to your bab. So this is the form 5 bab 1, this is the form 4 bab 4. So how did the project mencapai guna tenaga penuh? So guys, I wanted to focus on guna tenaga penuh. That's why I'm not going to conduct the question 27 before I end the class. 28, which is your objective macroeconomy. So before I try to refer to the whole content, page 14, how many objective macroeconomy for your form 5, all the bab 1 and bab 2? This is the most important criteria you guys have to memorize until you graduate, going to your college. So guys, how many objective macroeconomy? So Jing Xian, I already mentioned many times during the class. So guys, 4 objective macroeconomy, very good. So first objective, what is it? The most important one, we have to make sure the money value in the Malaysian market is stable. So what do we call that? Kestabilan tingkah harga umum. Very good. Finally, this is your feel, right? Form 4 for long forgotten, form 5 still within your memory, right? Kestabilan tingkah harga umum. Okay, so this is trying to calculate the IHP1 minus IHP0 divided by IHP0, right? Kadar inflasi less than how many percent? Tingkah harga umum less than 5%, 4% is kadar pengangguran. So that's why in order to make sure the unemployment rate is lower than 4%, so which means we have to make sure everyone able to work, right? So kerja have to mencapai guna tenaga penuh. So this is your 4%. Okay, so the third one, in order to let all the fresh graduate able to get occupancy to start working. So that's why we have to make sure the economy is able to produce more products, more output than the previous year, known as peningkatan pertumbuhan ekonomi. So what is the criteria to make sure the economy is keep improving? Pertumbuhan ekonomi. Any to make sure the economy is performing better? So KDNK. KDNK what? One greater than your KDNK? Kosong. Okay, so guys, what is the last objective macroeconomy? Trying to stable the economy by import export. So that's why we have the account kerajaan. Just now remember your form 4 part 3. So the account kerajaan, we can try to record the money flow in and out, import export. So this is what we call kestabilan imbangan. Ya, ini pembayaran, imbangan pembayaran. So done for the objective macroeconomy, right? We only need 6 marks, which means we try to relate to any 3 only. So what are the 3 objective macroeconomy? So dengan memanfaatkan potensi ini, Generate Electric Malaysia bersama rakan kongsi tempatan. So which means Malaysia company try to cooperate. So kongsi tempatan. Termasuk Redtune International melabur, so they are trying to invest in the technology. And then the specialty one, to membangunkan hub teleradiology, which means this is what we call try to produce new products, right? So done for this part. So guys, this is your first objective. Anyone? From the first sentence here, is under which objective macroeconomy? They are trying to collaborate, try to membangunkan a hub dedicated radiology. So this is trying to produce new output. This is under your third objective macroeconomy, pertumbuhan ekonomi. So other than that, dengan menghubungkan pakar radiologi sektor awam dan swasta, no matter it's private sector or the government sector. So hub ini akan bertindak untuk mengira semula laporan kerja di Malaysia membina kapasiti yang menjana PNK, which means production, negeri kasar. So this is actually known as KNK lah. So it's okay. Pengeluaran negeri kasar. So just within Malaysia, no matter it's foreign company or local company, yeah, produced in Malaysia, this is known as your KDNK. So this PNK is just Malaysia company, no matter it's trying to operate in Malaysia or overseas, still known as your KNK, PNK lah. KNK, PNK. So dengan menyediakan perkhidmatan di luar negara. So this is Malaysia company, no matter it's private or kerajaan. So project berkenaan dijangka memberi sumbangan PNK. So they are trying to produce a lot of items and pekerjaan. So guys, from the dengan ini until the last sentences, this is mencapai guna tenaga penuh. Okay. And then we have dari luar negara, right? So which means you are trying to slow down the expenses on import because we are trying to gather only KNK. No matter is the company in Malaysia or operate in overseas, just try to make sure the money is going to bring back to Malaysia. So we are trying to reduce on barang import, trying to let the syarikat asing to earn the money and then take our ringgit Malaysia flow out. So that's why we have guna tenaga penuh, pertumbuhan ekonomi, and then kestabilan imbangan pembayaran. Okay, so this is your 6 marks here. So do you guys need me to huraikan for you all? Yes. So which means you try to find out the 3 answers, send it to me. I will have time to write out the answer and then send to your WhatsApp. So Sirania, sorry, mentioning your name wrongly. So try to write out the 3 objective here and then huraikan according to the form 5 part 1. So which means all the huraian, like I said, kadar pengangguran, mewujudkan banyak peluang pekerjaan to make sure the kadar pengangguran less than 4%. So if they are able to collaborate, so meningkatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi untuk memastikan keruan dalam negara meningkat banding dengan tahun sebelumnya. So there's a 4 marks already. So imbangan pembayaran menstabilkan how to make sure mengurangkan aliran wang keluar banding dengan aliran wang masuk, iaitu nilai import kurang daripada nilai ekspor. So this is your full 6 marks already. So not that hard to huraikan, right? So refer to the TDC nota or school textbook, try to huraikan and then send to your teacher to mark. But if you want to send to me, no problem, then you have to wait. I wait until the next week seminar finish for lower form. Then only I'll try to write down all the answer in my sentences, send to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so guys, prepare your objective macroeconomy for Form 5 first, because your upcoming class for the Ala Dasar economy, fiscal and monetary policy is all based on objective macroeconomy. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here. I wanted to take my brush now. So guys, take a rest. Continue next 2 hours. Okay? Bye. Any question, contact me. Bye, guys. Bye, lah. Bye, Evia. Bye, Jingxian. Good try.